us teachers. I'm going to invite you all just quickly to sit down, to gather your thoughts, to ready yourself for what Peter has to offer you. And so here's the deal. As it was next door, I'm going to give an introduction to this talk. By the time I finished introducing the talk, you need to be quiet and ready to listen. Does that sound like a good deal? So here we are. We're going to use AI to enhance grammar lessons. Peter is back with a very timely session using AI to enhance grammar sessions. He's going to show us how generative AI can make grammar teaching more fun, as if grammar teaching could be any more fun than it is already, personal and effective, with plenty of practical examples for the classroom. Yet again, delivering things that you can use the second you step back in your classroom on Monday morning or maybe before. Please, let's have a moment of hush, followed by a huge round of applause as we welcome to the podium Peter LUCANTONI.
Thanks, Des. Nice lunch? Yeah? Good. Don't fall asleep. I don't know if the lady's here, but she approached me this morning and said, Peter, I saw you doing a talk 6 months ago in Brno, in the Czech Republic, and during the talk I said, I know nothing, or I used to know nothing about AI. And then as part of my job, somebody approached me and said, Peter, we need a talk on AI. So I panicked. I don't know anything. What am I going to do? So I learned. And I put together a session on AI, and I delivered it, and thank goodness it went down quite well. This session today is my second attempt at producing a session on AI. Since those, during those 6 months, I think I've learned a lot. I pay my subscription now to ChatGPT. I've stopped using Google, and all I use now is AI for everything in my work. So I'm only telling you that because my learning curve has been like that. Yeah, I'm 67 nearly, so if I can do it, you can do it. So what we're going to do is have a quick review of what AI is and what it means. We're going to have a look at the advantages of using AI specifically for grammar, but of course it has so many applications, but today, just about grammar. It says 5, but I realized this morning I only have 40 minutes. So I've actually cut out 2, so you're only going to get 3, but when you get the presentation afterwards, it will have all 5. Okay, so I hope that's all right. And we'll also have a look at how we can adapt for different contexts. So I would like you just to look at the question on the screen. How confident do you feel about using AI in your teaching to support you and your learners? So you're either going to be N or S or V. So you've got 10 seconds to think. And it doesn't matter what you come up with, but just think. And do we have any N's in the room? Who is not confident? Okay, a few of you, right. Who's in the middle with S? I suspect most people. Yep. And who's a V? Some of you are, so now I'm feeling worried that you know more than I do. All right. Obviously, I'm going to ask that question again at the end, and hopefully there'll be no N's, and maybe there'll be more V's than we have at the moment. Okay. So, what is AI? We've got 3 images on the screen, from left to right, loads and loads and loads of data in a big room with machines consuming, computers consuming loads of energy, being very, very detrimental to the environment, using lots of water, using lots of power. So maybe that's your view of AI. Or maybe it's the one in the middle. It's a robot, like those carpet cleaners that you see sometimes going around. Or maybe it's the one on the right, which is some sort of assistant to what you're doing at the moment. So just take 5-10 seconds. What is AI to you? Is it 1, is it 2, or is it 3? Or is it all 3, maybe? Yeah? Who thinks it's 1? Quite a few of you. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, until quite recently, this was my image of AI, something which is bad for our planet. Apparently, maybe you know this, but there are aircraft hangars full of computers which support our use of AI. And the cost to the environment is unbelievable. Yeah? So a few of you are number one. What about number two? A robot assistant. Okay, a few more. And three, a helper. Fewer, that's interesting. Okay, so most of you think of the robot. All right, okay. Nikki Hockley is a Cambridge author, Cambridge trainer, and she's just brought out this brilliant little pocketbook, 30 Considerations for Using AI. And in the introduction, she says this. I'll just leave you to read it. So I think, obviously what Nikki is saying is very relevant. That's why I've included it here. But I think we've already heard some of this today. We heard it from Tim, from Nat Geo, and the gentleman from the British Council. ChatGPT has only really been around for 2 or 3 years to our sort of general knowledge. It was probably around before that. But it's certainly brought into sharp focus its impact on education and us as educators. But I think the interesting thing that Nikki Hockley says is let's not be frightened of it. Like all technology, what we need to do is embrace it. We need to understand it. We need to understand the parameters of it, what it can do and what it can't do. But understanding the principles can help us to be less frightened of it. Can you remember when the internet arrived and Google came around and everyone panicked? Students are going to use the internet. I'm old enough to remember, and I know Anne is here with me, my colleague from Cambridge. Anne is almost as old as me, and we can remember dictionaries. Remember dictionaries? Oh, no, you're not allowed to use a dictionary. It has to come from up here. Yeah, you know, we've got to move with the times. We've got to embrace novelties and new things that are coming along. So what is AI not, first of all? Well, A is not continuously developing, although we may think it is. The P in ChatGPT means pre-trained. Any AI will only work, it will only exist if somebody, a human, puts something into it. That's what it works on. It works on the data that we as humans actually put into it. You may think it's your friend, but it ain't. It is definitely not your friend. It doesn't understand you. It doesn't empathize with you. It actually doesn't give a monkeys about you. Yeah, it really doesn't care. But we do as humans. And I think it was Tim in his intro speech this morning said exactly this. AI is not going to replace us because we're empathetic, we're sympathetic, and we have feelings. AI does not. And let's always remember that it is a computer. And the only way that computers can work is if a human puts something into it. At the moment. Maybe next generation it will be different, but I'll be dead by then and I don't care. But at the moment, it's infallible. And it's only as good as what we, humans, put into it. So, just to make sure you're awake, you need to tell me what's missing. So AI is a branch of computer. Yeah, that's the easy one. And it focuses on creating systems which are capable of performing human tasks that typically require human intelligence. And that's what we've just been saying. AI is not going to work without us at the moment. AI encompasses MAC, machine learning, yeah? And it naturally processes language, computer vision, and more. And AI can what? Enhance user experiences by providing more personalized content, intelligent search, and adaptive learning environments. So it's very much a computer. It's very much working with us to make our lives easier. Yeah? Okay. So, as we've said, whatever AI tool you use, whether it's ChatGPT, or I heard Anne talking about Canva this morning, and Gemini, and whatever, it's only going to be as good as what you give it. But very importantly, and we're going to look at this in a minute, the prompts that you actually give it. A prompt is a question or a demand that you give to your AI tool in order to get some sort of response. So we'll look at that in a minute because it's absolutely critical to how you can use it. AI is not creative. It can only be creative if we give it the data in order to be creative. Yeah? So it's creating stuff from what you've already created. And this is weird, isn't it? But they actually don't understand anything. They really do not understand anything. As I've said, I use it all the time now, so it's quite weird when I ask it a question. It says, "That's a really great question, Peter." I'm thinking, but it's only saying that because it knows that that's the right response. That's what a teacher would say, isn't it? When a student asks a question, "That's a really good question." So it's learned that that's the response it should give. But it actually doesn't know why it's saying that. Yeah? And I think this is an important final point here on understanding the model of AI, is that if AI doesn't actually know the answer to something, it will just make something up, which is what students do sometimes, isn't it? If they don't know the answer, they just put anything. So let's always be sure that we're constantly checking that whatever the information, the data is that we're receiving from the AI tool, we need to make sure that it has some sort of credence, some sort of credibility behind it. So AI will make up things for you. So despite what I've been saying, AI is actually evolving, but it's still evolving within human parameters. It's not evolving individually. It's not like the Alien film or the Alien films. What we're looking at now, what we're involved with now, is the one on the right. The green one is the generative model. But of course, before that, we had the predictive model. And we're all familiar with Google and search engines. That's what they were doing. They were predicting. And of course, the predictive models could identify something. You could show it something, and it would say, "It's a dog." And you could show it a learner script, and it would say, "This is good, this is bad, this is average." And, if you want to know where the best restaurants in Bucharest is, you just put it into Google, and it gives you a load of restaurants. In fact, it probably gives you 6 million web pages to look at. And therein lies the main problem with search engines, and therein lies the major benefit of using something like ChatGPT, because ChatGPT doesn't give you 6 million responses, it gives you one. Unless you ask it for 6 million, and then it will give you 6 million. The generative model, on the other hand, if the predictive model can identify a photo, what can Gen AI do? It can create an image of a dog. And in fact, Anne showed us some creations this morning. Some of the pictures in her book, she showed us how awful the images were. I mean, it's getting better, and you need to be very clear about your prompts, but I think it's still not brilliant. Predictive could classify a learner script. Generative can... It can write the learner essay. And now you're thinking, "Oh no, I don't want it." Now you're panicking, because you're thinking, that's what my learners are going to do. My learners are going to use it to cheat. But that's a problem, isn't it, with all technology, with all resources, with anything that is beyond our immediate control. We panic and think they're going to cheat. They won't cheat if we embrace it and teach our students how to use it and show them the benefits of it rather than simply as a tool for cheating. And the AI predictive can find information on a topic, but the generative model can actually produce recommendations. I mean, I've been with Anne all week traveling around Romania, and every day I've been searching best coffee shops near our hotel. Not in Google, but in ChatGPT. And it says, if you want to be relaxed, go here. If you want to spend a lot of money, go here. If you're da-da-da, go here, etc., etc. And we've actually found some really nice coffee shops this week. And of course, it can do much, 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 much more depending on your own creativity. So Hilary Mason makes the point that AI is not some sort of magic. It's not something that we don't control or that we have no understanding of. Hilary Mason says AI is basically mathematics and it's data and it's computer programming, but the last part is the most important one. Humans! So we still have jobs. Yeah, because AI cannot exist without us and without our input. I've mentioned already that prompting is absolutely critical if we're going to use AI effectively, not just for teaching grammar, but even for finding coffee shops. It's absolutely essential that you ask the right questions, because if you don't ask the right questions, you'll get the wrong answer. So, first thing I want to point out is that when you're asking ChatGPT or whatever tool you're using, you need to be very clear and very specific. So, if you say, hello ChatGPT, I'd very much appreciate la-da-da-da-da, it would make my day, thank you in advance. You don't need to be polite. You can tell it whatever you want because it's got no emotions. It doesn't understand if you tell it to get lost. It really doesn't understand. It's got no emotions. When I first started using it, I used to say, please can you? And I thought, what a bloody idiot. Why am I saying please? It doesn't understand please. Instead, what? Yep. And the first word is what? Yeah, okay, but come on. Give me a little bit more than that. It's a verb. It's an imperative. You're telling it what you want it to do. Create, write, design, answer. Yeah? So we need to be very, very, very clear. So obviously that's not the only instruction, but already it knows that I want a worksheet and I want AI to create it. So we need to be clear, we need to be specific. It needs context. If you were in the writing session I did earlier, we talked a lot about context, because when ChatGPT or your students know the context, that helps them and it guides them with the language that we want them to use. And the same is true here. We need to give AI a context. So not, I want to create a worksheet for my class, but yeah, tell it who the class is. Second grade, 20 students, A2, online, face-to-face. Yeah? Motivated students, not motivated students, multilingual, monolingual. You know, the more you feed into it, the better the response is going to be. It also needs keywords. So just saying, give me some activity suggestions is not enough, because activity could mean anything. Well, what do you mean? A gap fill activity? A matching activity? What sort of activity do you want?
Icebreaker for 20 kids.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah? So just continuing on, I want them to be dynamic, I want them to be interactive. I have a large classroom, so I want it to be large classroom friendly. It's got to be focused on grammar, it's English as a foreign language, and the level is B1. Yeah? So the more you feed in, the better the output you're going to get from whatever tool it is that you're using. Asking open-ended questions is also a good way of prompting, but you need, again, to be clear, specific, and contextual. So, are there any engaging activities for grammar practice? Answer? Yes. Okay. So, what should we say? I mean, what's missing, first of all? Before that, what's missing? What's missing? What's missing? The verb, the imperative. Yeah, we need an imperative. So, I haven't got one. But we're asking it an open-ended question. What are some interactive and engaging activities that can be used to reinforce grammar concepts in English teaching? Yeah, then you're going to get what you want. So don't be afraid of asking open-ended questions. Tell me about different types of language grammar games. Much better would be, and do remember, you can upload examples of what you want it to analyze. Something I've started doing recently is to upload my PowerPoint presentations and ask ChatGPT very specifically, please give me feedback on XYZ, and please can you tell me XYZ, and da-da-da-da-da XYZ. Yeah, it doesn't mean I make major changes, but oh yeah, I didn't think of that. I could do that instead of that, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah? So uploading content that you've already created is a really, really good way to use ChatGPT to fine-tune what you're doing. I think if you're creating from nothing with ChatGPT, you're on the road to ruin, because you never know what you're going to get. And if you think that that's the best, then no. It's much better if you create and then you use it as a study buddy or as a friend, you know, somebody that can look over your work and give you feedback. Much, much better way of using it. And I think we've got one more. Yeah. Ask ChatGPT for examples. How can I encourage creativity in grammar learning activities? Give me some examples of grammar activities that encourage creative expression and language use in English teaching. So the more detailed, the more specific, the more clarity you have with your instructions, with your prompting, the much better the output is actually going to be. And do remember, what you can do is you can start with one question and it will give you something, and then you can say, as a follow-up question, no, I don't want that, I want this. And as an example, sorry to talk about coffee shops again, but I did do this every day this week, and a couple of the coffee shops that I was given were in hotels. And we didn't want to go to a hotel, we wanted to go to a street coffee bar. So I said, okay, I don't want coffee bars in hotels. Oh, okay, Peter, I understand. You don't want to sit in a hotel. So here are some which are on the street. Yeah? Okay. Oh, sorry, one more. You can also explore hypothetical... Can anybody say that word? Brilliant. I don't need to say it anymore, do I? Exploring these scenarios. Imagine an advanced English class. You're the teacher. Yeah? And then, what grammar activities could you design to promote critical thinking and debate skills among the students? So you give it a situation over on the left, and then you prompt it with something deeper. We can also give AI follow-up prompts. Your idea for using grammar games was great. So what's the but? Yeah, but don't be polite. Don't say, can you? Really? Just know who's the boss. You need to know who's the boss. I've been quite polite there. Could you also provide me? Yep. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. So, prompting is absolutely essential, or effective prompting is absolutely essential if you want to get the best out of your AI tool. So, what can we do with it? Just have a quick look at that from Nikki Hockley. Sorry? Principle means, I think it's to do with morals. I think it's to do with understanding the impact of AI on us as educators, but also on society and on the world. I think that's what she's saying. The more we understand about it, I think the better we can use it and exploit it for our betterment. I think that's the key that she's making, or the point that she's making. She says that we need to be critical users of it. So don't just accept it, always question it, because you never know what it is that you're getting back. It's a bit like Wikipedia. Does anybody trust Wikipedia? Hopefully nobody, because very often Wikipedia is not sourced, it's not referenced, nobody knows where it comes from. Anybody can create a Wikipedia page and upload it. So we need to be careful that AI is giving us information which we know is, valid. So whenever I'm using it, I'm constantly saying, what are your sources? Where did you get this information from? And as long as I'm happy, I'll probably use it. Yeah? Okay, so I think AI can be really, really supportive in helping us to teach grammar, because AI allows teachers to add what? Peas? Peanuts? Personalization. Every student can have an activity personalized to themselves. Obviously, activities from course books or online courses are not personalized. You know, we try to personalize them, but we tend to personalize it for the class rather than for the individuals. But AI gives us that access to personalization. It also gives us what? Brilliant feedback. Absolutely brilliant feedback. Very concise. And more importantly, if the AI tool knows your language learning level, it will give you feedback at your level. It knows what you should know at that particular level. So it's brilliant for personalized feedback, which students can understand. AI allows teachers to add variety. Nobody is going to stand here and say, that's it, no more course books, AI is the way to go. No. Do you use video in every classroom? Do you use audio in every classroom? Do you use the whiteboard? No. We have a variety of different things, and I think the more variety we can build into our lessons, the more engaged and motivated our students are going to be. Creativity. Yeah, and I think we'll see some ways in just a minute. AI allows teachers to add engagement. Students love anything that's digital, don't they? They love having a device in their hand, whether it's a phone or a tablet or whatever, but it engages students. And it allows teachers to add immediacy. Because AI doesn't need to go to sleep, AI doesn't need to have a shower, change its clothes, it's there 24/7. So it will give you an immediate response. So just quickly, can you see one of those which you think is the most advantageous for you? Immediacy. I like that. Yeah, I'm with that. I'm not saying there's only one answer. Of course, you can have whatever you want, but I think the fact that you get that immediate response to what you're doing. And remember, as a teacher, if you've got 20, 30 students in the class, you can only be immediate with one student, and all the rest are twiddling their thumbs. But AI will give everybody immediate feedback. Okay, so here's the first activity. Oh, look at that. Did you notice that? But you were too polite to say, oh, he's got a spelling mistake. I've got two versions of this, and on the other one I spotted it and corrected it, but on this one I didn't. Right, so students need an AI chatbot. You know when you visit a website and it says, "Would you like some help?" Click the button and you think, a human. Nah, humans are too expensive. So some robot comes up and asks you these questions and you give your response and it answers in the way that it thinks you want to know. But prompt an AI chatbot to produce some questions on a particular grammar point. Remember to specify the type of question and how you would like the answers to be provided. Then you can copy and paste the Q&As into an online game app, and I'll show you an example in just a minute. You can use this in classroom activities which involve moving around, physical activity, treasure hunt, for example. I think it was Anne again talking this morning about multiple choice options with distractors. So on the left is my prompt. Can you see that at the back? Is it clear? Yeah? Create a 5-question multiple choice quiz on the first conditional for an A2 level English class in Saudi Arabia. Very specific context. Include 1 correct answer and 3 distractors for each question. Make sure that the correct answers are distributed randomly and that the quiz is formatted for word wall. Do you know word wall? Yes. Yeah? Okay. So that's my prompt, and over on the right is the response I got. And can you see the first word in the response? Up the top. Absolutely. I'm happy to help you. You've made my day. Here's a 5-question multiple choice quiz on the first conditional for A2, la, 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 la. And it tells you that it's followed your instructions, and here is the quiz with the answers down the bottom. Okay? Now, what else did I ask it to do? I want to use it in word wall. Okay? So maybe you're thinking, I can't be bothered. Too much effort. And then it said, without prompting, I promise you, I didn't ask it. It just told me how to use this in word wall. And it's given me the instructions. So like a good boy, I followed the instructions. And that's what I got. And if you want to do it, there's a QR code which will take you to the quiz. I mean, how brilliant is that? Why would you not use it? Seriously. What is the problem in using it? Where's the danger in using it? Yeah? I mean, students are going to love it, aren't they? And you're the one that's being creative. It's not ChatGPT which is being creative. It's you that's being creative. You've come up with this particular idea. Okay, it says activity 3, because as I told you earlier, I've taken out a couple because of time, but when you get the presentation, all of them will be there, okay? This is quite a nice activity for students to analyze grammar and to look at editing and error correction skills. So again, you can use the chatbot. Sorry, I've got no idea, but what time am I supposed to finish? Is it soon? 5? Oh, God. Okay, this is going to be very fast. We can use the chatbot to diagnose sentence-level errors. We can use it to explain why the error is wrong, and I think this is brilliant, because sometimes as teachers, with no disrespect, we may struggle to explain in a clear and concise way why something doesn't particularly work. And of course, as I was saying in my talk earlier with writing, we need to suggest improvements. We need to provide suggestions for improvements. Here's the example. You give the chatbot a flawed sentence. She don't has a car yesterday. She don't have a car yesterday. Ask your learners to look at the sentence, and I've used the verb operate on it. They need to highlight the error, they need to fix the error, and they need to explain the error. Yeah? So there's a whole process here, isn't there, of learner engagement in understanding why it's wrong and what they can do about it. Then the students can compare what they think with what ChatGPT tells them. So here's an example. Top right, she don't has a car yesterday. Here's the explanation from ChatGPT. The sentence is grammatically incorrect. A correct version could be, she didn't have a car yesterday. Here's why. So it's telling the student why. And then, would you like me also to give you a quick trick for remembering this rule? Yes, please. Yeah? I think this is great. It's such a lovely idea, isn't it? Yeah? Because it comes a little bit competitive as well, because you're sort of playing the student off against the AI tool. Can you come up with a better response than the AI tool? You can also do it with longer discourse, with paragraphs rather than sentence level. Learners checking their ideas and reflecting on the chat box changes. Sorry? Oh, you want to know the quick trick? You have to search. Okay, the fifth one, but actually the third one, grammar polls and AI explanation battle. This is a bit of fun. I think we often use polls in our teaching, particularly online, asking people for responses. What do you think? Put it in the poll. Are you left, right, yes, no, whatever it might be. And they often have multiple choice answers, A, B, C, D. So with more challenging questions, you can engage the students more by asking them what they think about the answer. Why is it the correct answer? Why is it not that one? Why is it not that one? Why is it not that distractor? Why is that the actual answer? And then you can ask the chatbot to explain the answer, and you can see which student has got the closest response. Now, one thing I should have mentioned here, we talked a little bit about students doing this independently, but of course as a teacher, you can have this on your screen, can't you, at the front of the class with your lap. You can be doing this. You can be controlling the AI. You can be setting all of this up, and the students can be watching it. So we've got a mixture here of students accessing AI independently, but also teachers using it in the classroom to demonstrate particular things. And then your students can critique or rewrite the explanation. Here's an example of what I mean. Here's the question, which is correct? And over on the right is the response from the AI tool. So top right is the question, why is A the correct answer? A is correct, la-di-da-di-da. Let's break it down, da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. If you want, I can explain why has been gone works in other contexts, but not here. Has been gone, does that work? I can't think. When would you say has been gone? Oh, has been gone a long time, yeah. Sorry, I'm tired. Okay, just quickly, something I want to show you, which you should all thank me for when you've seen what it is. The new Cambridge Teachers Hub. Just type in teachershub.cambridge.org and it will take you to our new Teachers Hub. You then sign up using your Cambridge One email and password. Everybody use Cambridge One? Yes. Good. Because if you don't use Cambridge One, you can still access it. But we'd love you to use Cambridge One. So just use your Cambridge One password, email and password. If you don't have an email and password, sign up. Or I think you can access it with Facebook now as well. So what is it? Well, the first thing is that the Teachers Hub is F. Free. So we don't care if you're using a Nat Geo book. Well, we do actually, but hopefully when you've seen this, you'll immediately switch to Cambridge. So when you open the Teachers Hub, you'll see this. It's not very sexy because it's still in development, but I think it will become more sexy in time. But there are three main parts to it. Interactive teachers' books. So there's an interactive version of the teacher's book that you're using, and just by clicking one button, you have all of the associated resources that go with that teacher's book. Okay, I'm not going to show you that today. We also have a resources hub, and in the resources hub, you will find literally everything that Cambridge has ever produced to support teachers. Worksheets, activity cards, white papers, all for free. We must be mad. Must be mad. All for free. But the one I want to show you today is this one. There's also an AI lesson planner generator. Excited, huh? Look at you. Christmas has come early. So if you click on that, try it, you get this. It says create a lesson plan. Down the bottom are some previous ones that I've done. For example, grammar lesson on revision of present simple versus present continuous, vocab presentation, la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Yeah? So it stores the lesson plans that you created. Then you get a template, and it asks you to fill in the details of the lesson plan that you want. So, topic, age range, level, duration, and so on. So basically, you're prompting it with information about your class, okay? And then you click Generate Lesson Plan, and after how long do you think you get your lesson plan? Somebody said 5 minutes. Prehistoric. I've done it as fast as 5 seconds. And you get this. Amazing, huh? Amazing. I have to finish, but just one word of warning. None of you would ever do this, print it out, and use it, would you? No. What you would do is look at it and think, yes, I can use a bit of that, I can use a bit of that, I can use a bit of that, and I'm going to add it into what I've already got. But please, don't think this is the answer to all your dreams, because it's not. Okay, remember, AI doesn't know who your students are, but you do. So, final takeaways. It's brilliant, but, yeah, and we've talked about the buts. We haven't mentioned the word hallucinations, but hallucinations, basically, when we're talking about AI, it means wrong information, yeah? But they're not very common, so don't worry too much. Experiment with it, play around with it, find out what it can do to help you, because everybody will get different bits from it. Use it in the classroom, let your learners use it, don't ban it. If you ban it, they'll cheat with it. But if you embrace it and train them on using it, everybody will benefit. I think that's the same sort of point. And the last point is you can use AI as a study tutor. Take away some of the hard work that you have to do. Nikki Hockley's book on the left, a lovely white paper in the middle, English language education in the era of generative AI. 6 tips, all free, all downloadable. Cambridge loves you. Yeah, we don't want your money. Oh, sorry. You'll get this on the presentation afterwards, don't worry. Can I move on? Because I'm being told I'm going to get shot in a minute for being over time. It's 2 lovely articles on the world of better learning about AI. He's getting his gun out. Okay? So who's an N? Who's an N? Not a single N. Yes. Result. Who's an S? Hardly anybody. Who's a V? Yes. Brilliant.